One of the famous practices here in Baltimore was the coop.
Innocent bystanders would be picked up off the streets by gangs, thrown into basements, and force-fed alcohol and drugs for about 3 or 4 days. Then, the gangs would make these people leave the basement and go and vote again and again and again. And in between the votings, the gangs would make them switch clothes, cut their hair, and pretty much do anything to change their appearance. Many did not survive this ordeal.
The belief is that Edgar Allan Poe was voted 33 times.
Wait, why do you say that?
He was also found at a polling house on election day. He is drunk. We know what happened in the coup. Or he was on drugs. We know what happened in the coup. Clothing and whatnot.
It's interesting, but it's coincidental.
While cooping is the most likely reason Poe died, there are many theories out there that range from alcoholism, hypoglycemia, suicide, murder, overdose, and even rabies. Each theory has their supporters and detractors, and due to that, Poe's death may forever be considered an unsolved mystery.
There's 2 letters. One man says he was in the coop with Poe and Poe was in bad shape. There's another letter that a guy named, it's labeled as a certain Pisano, admitted that it was his coup, and he supposedly went and apologized to the family and admitted to it.
Really?
The family always said that they believed he was cooped. The letter goes on to say that Poe was voted 33 times and that he was given a heavy dose of laudanum. He was a little frail man, and he started to fall out as they were driving him around. And they essentially said, he's a dead man, he's no good to us. And they stuck him in a cab and got rid of him.
Now, it's Edgar Allan Poe. Edgar Allan Poe is very famous. Wouldn't they have known that they were grabbing Edgar Allan Poe?
Well, let's go take a look back at our young kids. They're apprentices. They're not schoolboys anymore. They're dropping out of school. Most of them are illiterate. They didn't know who Edgar Allan Poe is, nor did they care. They needed to accomplish the winning of an election, and if he was there, they would have took him. And they were so violent, even if you were a judge and you knew it was Edgar Allan Poe, are you going to speak up?
We're here in Baltimore today visiting a local brewery that's brewing up more than just beer. It's brewing up history. Let's go. Now, why beer?
Went to Europe to do a postdoc in molecular biology and just fell in love with the different beers, the different styles, and the beer culture. Different from England, Belgium, Germany, let's say.
Why did you choose Edgar Allan Poe? Why did you choose The Raven?
Well, when my future partner, Wolfgang, suggested we do an American theme, and I'm from Baltimore, and the first thing that popped in my head was Edgar Allan Poe. And I've always been a Poe fan. If you look at each story, and you maybe look at the labels themselves, we have symbols of the stories on the right and left of Poe, here in this case pendulums, for Pitt and the Pendulum. And with the cask, the bottle you have over here, you've got brick and mortar and chains where he tackles a person against the wall and bricks them in mortar and bricks. So you can do a lot with Poe. Kevin Gallagher, the political cartoonist for the Baltimore Sun and the Economist magazine, he does all of our artwork. Cal wanted to focus on Poe, and he emphasized a very large head. And every label, Poe holds the glass that fits the style of the beer. On the right and left of Poe are symbols of the story. On the side, we always have a tagline, a cut above the rest, being Pendulum Pilsner. It never skips a beat, is Telltale Heart. On the back of the label, we have a line or two from the particular story.
Beginning in the early 1930s, the Poe toaster, a black-clad figure, will go to Poe's grave at Westminster Hall, toast Poe, then leave 3 red roses and an unfinished bottle of Martell cognac. This practice continued until 2009.
You sometimes host Poe-themed events here.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I kind of like to support literature and the fine arts in general. I am also a board member of the Poe House in Baltimore. The last event we did was a fundraiser for Poe Baltimore. Poe Pints and Poetry,
yes.
right.
It's a very, very, very nice event.
Thank you.